The Wonderland of Lights has been going on for more than 35 years, but I never get tired of seeing those lights on the courthouse.
Absolutely mesmerizing. And the courthouse isn't the only thing that shows the Christmas spirit. The shops in downtown Marshall are decorated with all kinds of Christmas goodies, past and present.
Something else in Marshall that reflects the past is a Memorial City Hall. I will take you inside this beautiful building in downtown Marshall and talk about the service and the sacrifice of the military in Marshall.
Welcome to the KTBS 3 Spirit of Christmas from Marshall, Texas. This KTBS 3 Spirit of Christmas is brought to you by the Marshall Wonderland of Lights.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Spirit of Christmas in Marshall, Texas. I'm Jan Elkins, along with Patrick Dennis and Rick Rowe.
You know, this is an absolutely beautiful town, and they've done the Wonderland of Lights here 35 years,
Yes.
And so, I mean, absolutely incredible. And you got to come back each year because I don't know how they do it. It just keeps getting bigger and better every year that goes by.
And you and I were here. I don't know if you were in middle school, I'm not sure.
Elementary, probably.
It was the bad old days, the mid-1980s. There had been a big bust in the oil and gas industry. Christmas looked really dim in East Texas and in Marshall, and something magic happened. The editor of the Marshall News Messenger writes a column, and the magic begins. It's an incredible story, the history of the Marshall Lights.
We like the lights.
You what?
We like the lights.
Like the lights. She likes the lights?
You like the lights?
She likes the lights? Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
I met a little girl last night. Her name is Maria. She reminded me of another little girl and a mother looking for something a long time ago.
She had brought her kids downtown.
It's been more than 30 years, yet George Carter still has trouble sharing the story. Let's you and I go back to the awful winter of 1987. Oil prices have plummeted. The economy everywhere was terrible.
And you can shoot a shotgun down North Washington and not have to worry about hitting anybody.
Hard to believe when you see North Washington now. But back then, on a whim, a local newspaper man wrote a column and said,
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could decorate our downtown with tiny white lights?
A kind-hearted former resident of Marshall wrote a check, a big one.
And she sent George Smith a check for $25,000.
It was on. A group of volunteers attacked the old courthouse, vacant at the time and aging badly.
Chicken wire on metal poles. And we created designs with them, and we put them up around the courthouse, and we hung some bells and balls in the trees.
That first year, it was pretty much just the locals who came out to see. But the next winter, something magic began to happen.
And there was a bus that just kept circling the square, and then another one. And so we went out there and stopped the bus and said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, we're a tour group and we're visiting Marshall Wonderland of Lights.
Nothing would ever be the same. Over the decades, they have added things. There's a Christmas village now and a carousel. And the ice skating ring is covered this year. Oh, and if you want to ride a train around the courthouse, or see it all from a carriage, you can. But when you do, I want you to remember Maria, the little girl I met last night who loves the lights, and that other little girl and her mother who brought her kids to the great courthouse back in those bad old days. Because for her, this was Christmas.
She had brought her kids downtown. And said that would be the only Christmas that her kids would get.
What a great story. And folks, I tell you, I really think we owe the citizens of Marshall a great big thank you, because they turned a very dark time into something with magic. And we're going to be back with more from the Wonderland of Lights in Marshall, Texas.